keep the amp for being output.
Yeah, it's probably if you're going to keep the amp and those tubes aren't too bad. I wouldn't want to have to buy a new 1200 tube, but but yeah, those tubes are reasonable. If you could grab a spare, I just think these amps are worth holding on to at this point. I mean, how much money are you going to get selling them? I mean, they're worth a little bit more than they used to be, but really, the writing's on the wall. It's pretty much, everything else went solid state. The only thing that has been holding out are these linear amplifiers. So it was bound to eventually happen where, solid state would become affordable for an amplifier, an HF amplifier. And that time has come. I mean, there's multiple companies now that produce a very nice amplifier, solid state, for a relatively reasonable price. I mean, when you think about it, it's competitive to a brand new tube amp for sure. And some of these, like the guy that makes the Lux and the Mercury, they're priced at a fraction of like what Flex Radio tries to charge for their amp. I think Flex is trying to get like $7,000 for their linear amplifier, which, from what I understand, is not that good.
The new era. Let's see what icon refers to that new PWC. 16 grand. I still think it's going to be a lot more valuable for the company.
KC2QMA. You know what I think's happening? I think the same thing that's kind of happening with the Hermes kind of concept, really, the hardware cloning. I think you're starting to see that in the amp world because, for example, the main display software, the main controller software that all these amps, these new solid state amps have, is made by one guy. It's RZ1 ZR. He's the guy who, I wouldn't say invented, but created this firmware and software that basically controls all these amps, including Kenny's amps. The VK amps all run on the same software, and a handful of others. So that's one aspect. The other aspect is the boards. These boards now, once you've got the, I guess they call it a spice file, but once you have the file for creating the board, you can stamp them out all day, and then you just put the parts on it, put it all together like a kit, which is what a lot of them are, and boom, you've got a full-blown HF amp with, plenty of power that, for a fraction of the price, you built it yourself. So you're seeing a lot of that, like the kit building, that's how Kenny got his thing started. Now I think he only offers it as a fully built amp. But the idea of just buying the boards and buying the empty case, and putting it all together, it's still part of the hobby. But it's made it where it's just driven the price down to the point where, yeah, you're right. You can see a couple of more companies popping up out of the woodwork to basically put these things together, test them, offer service and support, and they're in business making amps, without having to have done millions of dollars worth of research and development. All the hard work's done of, all the boards and how to connect it and how to set it up. It's all the hard work's done. It's just now packaging it really is where it's at.
KF5HCG is the frequency in use. Hello, John. W6LJS, KF5HCG. Yes, sorry, I was waiting for the guys on 7212 to wrap up, and they finally did. So we'll get started without any further ado. This is the Tuesday night edition of the Air Force's Flyers Club Net. The Air Force's Flyers Club is a membership of current and former military personnel from all branches of the Armed Forces who served in roles supporting the aviation mission and who share a common bond as licensed amateur radio operators. We encourage and welcome visitors to join us on the net regardless of military or aviation experience. We have a website at airforcesflyersclub.org where you can learn more about it. The site contains information about the club and our members, and there is a membership form that you can complete and submit should you feel qualified and have the desire to join. This is a control net. To contact net control, we ask that you use the word check-in, contact info, or relay as appropriate. The net is run using the following format. First, we compile a list of stations wishing to participate. We then go through that list, calling each station in turn for comments. After the comment round, we'll pause for any late check-ins. Then go back through the list for a 73 round. We also have a conference site on Echo Link. You can find us there by searching for the node AFFC. That's Alpha Foxtrot Charlie. Time permitting, we'll convene an Echo Link Intranet for a final round of comments. My name is Jeff, and my call sign is Kilo Foxtrot 5, Hotel Charlie Delta, and I'm located in North Central Texas. With that, I'm going to pause here for any check-ins. So far on the list, on the net logger, we have the following stations. We've got John, W7HJN in Arizona. Good evening to you, John. We've got a friend, John, John in Arizona is our friend, too. We have John K0VAC in Kansas. We've got Bob, our commander, K1DLP up in Idaho. Good evening, Bob. We've got John, W6LJS in Southern California. Good evening to you, John. We have Stephen. Looks like Stephen might be a visitor here. KQ4HJN. Good evening to you, Stephen, out in Florida. We've got Dale, W5OT. Dale's my neighbor east here in Texas. Good evening, Dale. We've got Chief Mike, WW5ENC. Good evening to you, Mike, up in Oklahoma. We've got Chris, KS5KY, Chris in Kentucky. We've got Charlie, K4YDP, Charlie out in Georgia. Good evening, Charlie. We've got Brian, WD5DRI, another neighbor here in Texas, down in San Antonio. And Brian, I understand you're a short-timer, so we'll get you moved up to the top. Let's see, we've got Joe, KBHJOE, up in Ohio. Good evening to you, Joe. Let's see, we've got Mike, KF0OPE, Mike in Nebraska is receive only, but good evening to you, sir. We've got Tom, KC6E, Tom out in Arizona. And Justin, KB7LAK, Justin up in Utah. Good evening, Justin. And finally, we have Stephen, WW4RS. So, Stephen, good evening to you out in Florida. And let's see, do we have any others that would like to join us this evening? Please call now. Okay, it sounded like KJ5VPN. Is that close? I've got you down as KJ5VPN. We'll get you on the list And let's see. Let me go out to John, WA6LJS. John, would you put a call out, please, from the West Coast? Okay, thanks, John. Let's see if I can reach out to Charlie. K4YDB. Charlie, would you put a call out, please?
We'll go. Well, for chickens, it's as long as the not hearing anything.
All right, thank you, Charlie. Appreciate that. Well, let's get started then. We've got a good list here. We'll start with our question of the evening. For those not familiar with our NIPS, we start off the net usually with a question having to do with aviation, military aviation in particular, or ham radio, or both. And it's just a play along if you like kind of a thing. So here we go. Question tonight is recent. Well, I'll give you a little background. Recently, a C-130J Super Hercules completed a flight from Dyess Air Force Base in Texas to Anderson Air Force Base in Guam. The flight was made to demonstrate the long-haul capabilities of the aircraft. Total flight time for this mission was 26 hours and 33 minutes. The J model is the latest version of the venerable Hercules secured by the USAF with its introduction to service in 1999. And so the question is, which of the following statements about the C-130J model is true? Answer A. It can carry an additional 17,000 pounds of fuel, giving it the range to fly this distance without refueling. Answer B. Bravo. The C-130J Super Hercules cannot be refueled in flight. Answer C. Charlie. The new engines, while more efficient, provide slightly less power than the engines on the H model, which is compensated for by a new six-bladed prop. And answer D, Delta. The limiting factor for nonstop flight time in the C-130J Super Hercules is the crew. I'll run through those again because I know there was a lot of words in those answers. So which of the following statements about the C-130J model is true? A, it can carry an additional 17,000 pounds of fuel, giving it the range to fly this distance without refueling. And the distance I'm referring to is the Dyess Air Force Base to Anderson Air Force Base mission. Answer B, Bravo. The C-130J Super Hercules cannot be refueled in flight. Answer C, Charlie. The new engine, while more efficient, provides slightly less power than the engine on the H model, which is compensated for by a new six-bladed prop. And answer D, Delta. The limiting factor for non-stop flight time is the crew. So there you go. That's our question of the day. Feel free to participate if you wish. And we'll go right to our short timer, WB5DRI. Brian, you are up, sir. This is KF5HTV. Okay, Jennifer, KF5HCD, WB5DRI. Brian down here in San Antonio. Well, good evening, Jennifer, and good evening to all the flyers and to the net. Thanks for getting me in there early tonight, Jennifer. I'm still taking care of my wife almost full time. I haven't been on the radio very much at all. Not on the net in several days, but it's good to be back on here. I just thought I'd jump on here tonight real quick and tell everybody good evening, and thanks for getting me in there early, Jennifer. And let's see, my wife, thanks for all the prayers for my wife also. She got through the operation just fine, and she's recovering pretty well. So it's just going to take a lot of days of recovery time, I think. It was a pretty extensive operation, and that requires a lot of care on my part to be her hands and feet. Anyway, on your question there, Jennifer, great question. I think my dad flew some of the earliest C-130 models. I think he would have loved the C-130J. But it's a great airframe, no doubt about it. I'm going to say that all of those are true, except for maybe Delta. Maybe Delta is the only one that's not true. I have no idea for sure, but the others all sound good to me. Wait a minute. Let me redo that a little bit. Bravo, the C-130 cannot be refueled in flight. I kind of feel like that's probably not true. I think it can be refueled in flight. So I think they're all true, except for that one. It can be refueled in flight, I believe. So I'm going to go with Bravo and say that the others are all true and see how that comes out. Thanks again, Jennifer, and good evening to all the players and to the net. Until the next time, 73, everybody, good evening. Thanks, Jennifer. KF5HCD, WB5DRI. Back to net and clear. Contact. Okay, thank you, Brian. 73 to you. Have a great evening, and we look forward to hearing from you again next week. I did hear a contact there. Go ahead, contact.
Yes, ma'am. I was looking for the name. I didn't know what frequency it was on. Anyway, I found you guys, and I just want to get on the payroll. I just need some money now. So I'll show you how to check it out. N5NIR, and I'll file off. I didn't hear the question.
Okay, well, hello, Paul. Good to have you with us tonight. N5NIR. I'll get you on the payroll, and the paychecks are issued on the second Tuesday of every week, so watch for it then. Very good. Well, glad to have you with us tonight, Paul. Let's see. Let's go to W7AJN. John out in Arizona. Good evening, John. You're up, son. W7AJN. John, are you there? I'll come back to him. Let's go to John out in Kansas. K0BAC. John, you're up, sir. This is KF5HCD. Thanks, John. K0VAC, John out in Kansas. Glad to have you with us tonight. And if you have your ears to their seatbelt and watch out for their storms. If they get too close, just cut on out. Let's see. We'll break with John and go to Bob, our commander, K1BOV. Bob, you're up. This is KF5HCD. Okay, very good, Bob. Yeah, I'm hearing you pretty well here. There is a lot of static traffic going on. I know we've got weather moving in here this evening or tonight, but at the moment, the lightning is pretty far away from me, so I'm just hearing it. So anyway, you have your answers there, and yeah, we'll see how that works out. Let's see, we'll break with Bob. Let's go to California and John, CA6LJS. John, thank you for running the net logger this evening. You're up first. This is KF5HCD. The question is, which of the following statements about the C-130J model is true? WA6LJS KF5HCD. Sounding good here in north central Texas, John. And I've got your answers as Alpha, Bravo, and Delta. And let's see, we'll break with you. Let's go down. Let's see, we're going to skip 2 because they checked out. Let's go to C-Flight, WW5ENC. You are up, sir. Hope the tornadoes didn't pass through your neighborhood yesterday. This is KF5HCD.
All right, KF5HCD. Good evening, and they didn't buy us, but sulfur, just south. That's kind of when they started, and there was some real strong tornadoes down there, and I think there were fatalities also. But we kind of dodged it again. They kind of cruised by us between Tinker and where I live, and it went up north. But again, it was just small tornadoes just here, so the big one, the damage was down south. That was pretty much it. Of course, you're trying to stay up all night, after night, listening to everything, so you have to get in your shelter when you need to, right? So anyway, and as far as the question goes, I guess it can be multiple things. I know for sure that the things are right, because I've seen data of never being refilled, so I was guessing, maybe it can be refilled. I'm not sure about because you can have extra food on board, so I don't know about that one either. And I never heard about the 17,000 pounds, but I know for sure that C is wrong, so I guess what we're looking for is the right stuff. So I'm going to go A and C. I think maybe A and C is going to be my answer, so A and C. We'll give that a try. And we'll see how that works. Okay, send this back to you, Jennifer, KF5HCD, WW5ENC.
WW5ENC, KF5HCD. Well, I am glad to hear that the tornadoes did not touch down in your area. That's saw the devastation there up in Marietta and in Sulphur, and oh my gosh, they really got blasted. So, and there's more on the way, I guess. So we'll just have to wait and see. But anyway, do have your answers as A and C, Alpha and Charlie. Glad to have you aboard, and you've got a really good signal into my station here in North Central Texas. All right, well, we'll break with Mike, and let's go to Chris out in Kentucky, KF5KY. Chris, you are up, sir. This is KF5HCD.
KF5HCD, KF5KY. Well, good evening, Jennifer. Long time no talk to. Hope everything's going well from your back surgery and everything. And I'm just glad I get to participate in a 40-meter net. I put up an OCS that I've had a couple of weeks ago, I guess it was. So this is the first time that I've actually been on 40 meters in quite some time. So anyway, as far as the question goes, I don't have a clue, so I guess I'll just do Delta, because I know the crew duty day definitely has an effect on how far things go. But anyway, that's about all I know, and I don't think I'll stick around for 73 round. I need to get to going to bed here in a little bit, so just put me down for one and done in Delta, and hope everything goes well with the net, and 73 to everybody, and have a good evening, and be safe back there in the Midwest. I'm also watching radar for Kansas and Oklahoma there, seeing what's going on. So anyway, I'll turn it back to you. KF5, yeah, there we go. KF5HCD, KF5KY, back to net.
Okay, Chris, KS5KY, KF5HCD. Well, very good to have you on board again, and I hope we hear from you again in the very near future. I do have your answer down as D Delta, and wishing you all the best. 73, Chris. Let's see, righty, let's go back out to Charlie, K4YDB, and Charlie, you're up, sir. This is KF5HCD.
KF5HCD, K4YDB. Well, good evening, Jennifer. Good evening to all the flyers and visitors out there. Hope everybody had a great day. Once the clouds and the rains moved out today, it turned off to be a real nice afternoon outside. Got up in near 80 degrees. Beautiful, beautiful sunny day. Of course, I didn't have anything planned for outside because we were supposed to have rain all day long, but that's just the way it works out. But anyway, right now it is 68 degrees here, so it's not too bad outside. As far as the conditions go, well, I don't, of course, I don't hardly ever hear John on 40 meters. Was copying Bob just a little bit, but Jennifer, you're running a really good signal in here, good S9 plus. But Chris, boy, I tell you what, he was 10 dB over. Good solid copy on you this evening, Chris. But I'm not going to do a whole lot tonight. I'm getting ready for bed. So anyway, as far as the question goes, I really don't have a clue. But put me down for Alpha, Charlie, and Delta. I'll just take a guess and see.
KF5HCD,
Okay, Charlie, very good. K4YDB, KF5HCD. All right, well, very good. You are 10 over your signal here into north central Texas, so a good solid signal, and always good to hear from you. And I've got your answers as Alpha, Charlie, and Delta, so very good. All righty, let's see, let's move on. Let's go to visitor Joe up in Ohio, KB8JOE. Joe, you're up, sir. This is KF5HCD. No, I'm not hearing Joe. We'll move on then. Let's see. We've got Mike, KF0OPE. Mike is receive only, but good evening to you, sir. Glad you could join us this evening. Let's see. Let's go to Mike in Arizona, KQ6E. Mike, you're up, sir. This is KF5HCD. P6E, KF5HCD. Oh, good signal, Mike. Good to hear you tonight. And I do have your answers logged as you said Alpha and Charlie are false, so I've put you down for Bravo and Delta. So very good. Thank you, Mike. And let's see, let's move on to Justin all the way up in Utah. Justin, you're up, sir. This is KF5HCD. Let's see what else.
that's about it. We Chris can't talk to one yet. So we don't hear him. And, yeah. My dad was a C-130 guy, and he said, your butt can't take it. He said, that's the reason why I was your man. So, I'll see you on 15-hour footage in the RC-135. So, yeah. So that's all I've got. Thank you so much. About 70 degrees or whatever.
Okay, Justin, KB7LNK, KF5HCD. Yeah, those are long hours in anything, so very good. Do you have your answers? Alpha, Bravo, and Delta, so very good. And good to hear you tonight. 73, have a great evening, and I hope we'll hear from you again next week. Let's see, let's move on. We've got Stephen, WW4RS. Stephen out in Florida. You're up, sir. This is KF5HCD. I don't hear anything from Stephen. Let me try. I don't know that I got this call sign right, but it sounded like KJ5VPN. That station or something close to it. You're up. This is KF5HCD. Nothing there. Let's try Daniel, KC1ILH. Daniel, you're up. This is KF5HCD. Well, I am striking out. Let's go to James, KC5PTE. James down in Delton. You are up, sir. This is KF5HCD. Is anyone here in James? KT5PTE, James, you're up. Yeah, I'm not hearing anyone either. That's the last one. I'm not sure what's going on here. So we'll try them again on the 73 round. Let's see, that is the bottom of the list. Let me see if I missed anyone or if we've got any late check-ins. This is KF5HCD for Tuesday night edition of the Air Forces Flyers Club. Do we have any late check-ins? Please call in. Hearing none, let me go ahead and give the much anticipated answer to this question. So we were talking specifically again about the C-130J Super Hercules, which recently, and by recently I mean I think it was last Thursday, very, very recently. They flew from Dyess Air Force Base in Texas to Anderson Air Force Base in Guam to demonstrate the long-haul capabilities of the aircraft. And the total flight time for this mission was 26 hours and 33 minutes. So I gave you some statements, and I tried not to be ambiguous about the question. I did say which of the following statements about the C-130J model is true in implying that there's only one true answer in this list. So but that's okay. Well, we'll walk through each of them, and then I'll give you the answer. So, answer A, it can carry an additional 17,000 pounds of fuel, giving it the range to fly this distance without refueling. And it is true. They can carry, they have provisions for wing tanks, which they did use on this particular mission. And those wing tanks provided an additional capacity of 17,000 pounds. But it still did not make the flight there from Dyess to Anderson without refueling. So answer A is actually false. It is false. Let's see. Let me skip B for the time being. That's kind of a hint. Answer C, the new engine, while more efficient, provides slightly less power than the engines on the H model, which is compensated for by a new six-bladed prop. Well, actually, the new engines are more efficient, and they provide more power than the engines on the H model. And they do have a new six-bladed prop, but it wasn't to compensate a lack of power. So, anyways, answer C is false. And then answer D, the limiting factor for nonstop flight time is the crew, and in reality, that is not true. In fact, one crew can fly this airplane from full tanks to empty tanks. And of course, you could augment the crew by adding additional members, which they did on this particular flight. It flew from Dyess to Hawaii. It landed in Hawaii, refueled, and then took off again and made it the rest of the way to Guam. So this takes us back to answer B. The C-130J Super Hercules cannot be refueled in flight, and that is, in fact, a true answer. The standard C-130J Super Hercules does not have provisions for in-flight refueling. Bob mentioned that it can refuel other aircraft, and that is true. They can strap on refueling pods and refuel other planes, but the Super Hercules does not have the refueling capability, or is not able to take on fuel in flight. There are some C-130 variants. I'm going to hit this off here because I know people are going to say, wait a minute. There are some 130 variants like the Combat King-2 that does have in-flight refueling capability, and there are some variants flown by the Navy and the Marines that also have in-flight refueling. But the Air Force C-130J Super Hercules does not have that capability. So answer B was what I was looking for, and many of you got it. So very, very good. With that, I am going to go ahead and start the 73 round. I see a message there from James that he had radio issues and is not able to get on the net with us tonight. So sorry about that, James. And maybe we'll catch you on Echo Link. Let's go to the top of the list and N5NIR. Paul, you're up to the 73 round. This is KF58CD.
Didn't know that. That's pretty neat, Jennifer. Thanks for the info. And you have a really good people coming in here to Central Texas. A late check in there. And I'll be standing on the mailbox every day waiting for you. N5NIR, back to you.
All right, Paul, very good. Well, you'll get lots of fresh air and sunshine, so good for you. 73 to you. Have a good rest of your evening, and appreciate you joining us tonight. Let's see, let's go to John, W78JN, see if he's there. John, are you there? You're up at the 73 round. This is KF58CD. here and John. Let's try John number 2. K0VAC. John in Kansas, you're up, sir. This is KF5HCD.
KF5HCD of the group K0VAC. Very good. Thanks for requesting. Nice, interesting. Never a dull moment. You always learn something. And I appreciate that. Everybody, still got a lot of money, but it's all in each of us, so I think we're safe for another 24 hours. Peter, thanks very much again.
Okay, John, very good. I know there was going to be some blowback on that one, but from what I was able to read, they could dry the tanks with a single crew, but certainly they could throw a second crew on board if needed. So, anyways, no big deal. Very good, John. Glad to have you with us as always, and we'll hopefully talk with you again next week. 73 to you, sir. Let's go to Bob. K1BOB. Bob, you're up. This is KF5HCD.
KF5HCD. Well, very good. Yeah, I didn't know that transport dial like flown on, not the J model. I thought it was the big determining factor, but I guess I did it from the calculation man and combat perspective. I believe you. So interesting question. I think we all work with it. Thank you so much for running that. And we were a bit in a worry world when we don't get on a little earlier. So we got some license places to go to. And stuff you just let us know you're there or something. We're going to do the net sometime, so we have contact earlier. Well, just let us know, maybe I can come a little early before it comes to the shower. Anyway, that's why I was commenting. We will leave the stress here. One deal. Thanks a lot, Jim.
Okay, Bob, very good. I had checked in on NetLogger, and I put a comment out. It was probably about 7 minutes till the hour that we were going to wait for the Dig Nothing Net to wrap up on 7212, and then we were going to take 7213 because there was a group on 7210. And I didn't want to broadcast anything because, the frequencies were being used. So I just relied on NetLogger to get the word out. So not sure what else I could do, but maybe we can talk about it on Echolink. So, anyways, thank you, Bob. I appreciate the comments for sure. 73 to you, and let's go to John, WA6LJS, and John, you're up. This is KF5HCD. Okay, John, very good. WA6LJS, KF5HCD. Well, good. Good signal here as well. Good S9, and appreciate your help on the net logger. And I guess we'll chat with you again in just a little bit. Let's see. We'll break with you, and let's go to Mike, WW5ENZ. Mike, you are up. This is KF5HCD.
Okay, KF5HCD, WW5ENZ. Interesting conditions tonight. Again, it's still over here. I can barely hear John about, 3-3 or something like that, just above the noise, static crashes. And then you're coming in there like 10 over easy. And I couldn't get Bob really. He was really down low. Usually I can get Bob, but I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I got a little question. I guess you wanted the basic model and not the upgraded one with air refueling. So, anyway, take care. 73, everybody, and we'll catch you tomorrow. 73s, everybody.
Yeah, okay, Mike. Very good. Yeah, you're 10 over here as well. Really, really good signal. And the one thing that stood out to me about the C-130J model, the one specifically that they called the Super Hercules, was that it wasn't refuelable by air. I thought that was a really strange. I didn't understand why they didn't build that into that aircraft, but anyways, it stood out, so I thought, well, I'm going to write a question about it. Anyways, very good. Good to hear you tonight, Mike, and we'll talk with you again soon. Let's see, let's go to Charlie, K4YDB. Charlie, you've got a good signal out of Georgia. You're up for the 73 round. This is KF5HCD.
KF5HCD, K4YDB. Well, Jennifer, you're coming in pretty good over here in Georgia. You're about some 10 plus dB over. Anyway, good net tonight. I enjoyed it. 7-3s, everybody. Everybody have a great day, and we will look for you tomorrow on 20.
Okay, Charlie. K4YDB, KF5HCD. 73 to you. Have a great evening, and we'll talk with you again next week, I hope. And let's see, we'll break with you, and let's go to, it's 73 to Mike, KF0OPE. Glad to have you listening in tonight, Mike. And let's go to another Mike out in Arizona, Mike KQ6E. This is KF5HCD. You're up, sir. KQ6E, KF5HCD. All right, Michael, very good. And you had a good signal here into north central Texas. And yeah, I like 40 meters at night too. It just seems to work really well. So, anyways, very good. Have a good evening. 73 to you, sir. And we'll talk with you again soon. Let's see, a shout out to James, KG5PTE. Sorry you had the radio problems there, James, but we'll catch you next week. All right, well, that is the bottom of the list. Did I miss anyone, or are there any last-minute comments? Please call now. Well, hearing none. This has been the Tuesday night edition of the Air Force's Flyers Club Net. I do want to thank everyone who participated in this net, and especially wanted to thank John for WA6LJS for running NetLogger. I want to thank Charlie C4YDD for live streaming the net. That is awesome. And I guess I want to thank everyone just for being here. So anyway, everyone have a great evening. We'll talk with you again next week, I hope. With that, the Air Force's Flyer subnet is now closed, and the frequencies return to normal amateur use. 73, everyone.